This looks like a ball machine, but it is trying to become your coach, your training partner, your camera crew, and even your referee. It can feed tennis balls, it can train pickleball, it can handle Padel drills. You can control it from an app, you can speak to it with your voice, and with its AI camera system, it can watch how you move, analyze your mistakes, and tell you what to fix next. That sounds useful. It also sounds a little strange. Because for most of history, sports equipment waited for humans to use it. A racket did not judge your swing. A ball did not study your footwork. A net did not tell you why you lost the point. But this machine is different. It does not just help you practice, it watches you practice. So the real question is not whether people want a smarter ball machine. The real question is, why are thousands of people funding a robot that wants to coach them? This is PongBot Aura, an AI-powered multi-sport training robot for tennis, pickleball, and padel. At first glance, it looks like a compact courtside ball launcher, a machine that holds balls, shoots them across the court, and helps you repeat drills. But the deeper promise is much bigger than that. Aura is trying to turn sports training into a feedback loop. It can launch balls with different speed, spin, direction, elevation, and timing. It can help you train forehands, backhands, volleys, lobs, smashes, dinks, drops, and full court movement. Instead of needing a partner every time you want to train, instead of hiring a coach for every correction, instead of guessing what went wrong after every missed shot, you bring a robot to the court. You choose the drill, you speak the command, you let the machine feed, you let the camera watch, and you let the AI turn your practice into data. That is the dream. But here is the strange part. The real enemy this product is fighting is not tennis. It is not pickleball. It is not padel. The real enemy is bad practice. Because bad practice can feel productive. You sweat. You repeat. You hit hundreds of balls. You leave the court tired. But if nobody is watching carefully, you may be repeating the same mistake again and again. And in sports, repetition does not automatically make you better. Sometimes repetition makes the mistake stronger. If your feet are late, repetition can make late footwork normal. If your swing path is wrong, repetition can make that wrong path feel natural. If your recovery is slow, repetition can train you to always be late for the next ball. That is why coaching is valuable. Not because a coach sees that you missed. You already know you missed. A coach sees why you missed. Was your timing late? Was your body too close? Was your balance off? Was your racket face open? Did your feet stop moving? Did your shoulders rotate too early? Did you recover too slowly? That hidden why is where improvement begins. And PongBot Aura is trying to turn that why into software. This is where it stops being just a ball machine. Old ball machines were mostly about volume. They launched ball after ball after ball. Useful, yes, but limited. They did not care how you moved. They did not know if you were improving. They did not know if you were tired. They did not know whether your mistake came from your swing, your footwork, your position, or your recovery. They gave you repetition. Aura is trying to give you interpretation. And interpretation is a much more human thing. Because sports are not just about hitting an object. Tennis is timing, spacing, balance, decision-making, and recovery. Pickleball is reaction speed, control, patience, placement, and touch. Padel is angles, walls, lobs, corners, and fast adaptation. The visible part is the shot. But the hidden part is the system behind the shot. The eyes, the feet, the hips, the shoulders, the decision, the recovery, the pattern. That is what makes training difficult. You are not only learning how to hit, you are learning how to move through time. And that is what Aura is trying to measure. The stronger idea is that Aura wants to watch the whole training loop. It feeds the ball. You move. You hit. You miss. The camera sees. The system analyzes. The machine adjusts. And then it sends the next ball. That is a different kind of practice. Not random practice. Not lonely practice. Not just repetition. A programmed loop. And for many players, that is extremely attractive. Because almost every player knows the same frustration. You miss the same shot again, and again, and again. You know something is wrong, but you do not know exactly what to change. That gap between feeling wrong and knowing why is where coaching lives. A good coach gives language to failure. They turn confusion into correction. They notice what you cannot see from inside your own body. That is the emotional power of PongBot Aura. It is not only selling a machine, it is selling the feeling that your mistakes can finally explain themselves. They are not only buying hardware, they are buying the future version of themselves. A cleaner backhand, a more confident serve, a sharper reaction, a smarter recovery, a more controlled lob. A match where they finally stop losing points the same way. People do not just want equipment, they want transformation. They want proof that effort is working. They want progress to feel visible. And most of all, they want to stop guessing. That is why Aura's AI camera matters. Without the camera, this is a smart multi-sport ball machine. With the camera, it becomes something more personal. Because now the court watches you back. When a human coach watches you, it can feel helpful, but also vulnerable. Someone sees your mistakes. Someone sees your bad habits. Someone sees the gap between how good you feel and how you actually move. A robot coach changes that feeling. It may feel less embarrassing, less emotional, more objective. A machine does not laugh. A machine does not get impatient. A machine does not look disappointed. It just gives feedback. For some people, that is comforting. It is a system that records, analyzes, and corrects. And this creates the main tension of the product. Helpful versus strange. Coach versus camera. Training versus tracking. Improvement versus measurement. Because once practice becomes data, every movement can be scored. Every mistake can be stored. Every weakness can become a chart. And depending on the person, that can feel motivating or exhausting. This is not only happening in sports. It is happening everywhere. Sleep trackers do not just let us sleep, they measure how well we slept. Fitness watches do not just let us run. They score our heart rate, pace, recovery, and effort. Productivity apps do not just help us work, they track our focus, time, habits, and output. Now sports training is moving in the same direction. The court becomes a dashboard. The body becomes a data source. Improvement becomes something you can see on a screen, because the invisible becomes visible. The vague becomes specific. The mistake becomes diagnosable. But there is a deeper question. Do we improve more when everything is measured? Or do we start playing for the measurement? That question matters because coaching is not only measurement. A camera can track movement. A model can detect patterns. A report can show numbers. But coaching is also judgment. It is knowing which correction matters right now. A human coach can sometimes see things data may miss. Fear, hesitation, frustration, overthinking. A coach can change their tone. They can pause the drill. They can say, "Forget the technique for a second. Just feel the shot." They can know when a player needs correction and when a player simply needs confidence. That is hard for a machine, at least for now. The more interesting question is, can AI really coach, or can it only measure? That is the line this product is standing on. And it is a fascinating line. Because Aura does not need to replace every human coach to be useful. It only needs to change what solo practice can feel like. For casual players, it could make training more accessible. For serious players, it could make repetition more precise. For coaches, it could become a tool that handles feeding and tracking while the human focuses on strategy and psychology. For clubs, it could turn empty court time into guided practice. People back products like this because they want to be early. They want to be part of the shift. They want to own the thing before everyone else understands it. And PongBot Aura has the perfect crowdfunding shape. It is practical enough to understand immediately. A robot that helps you train. but futuristic enough to feel like a glimpse of what is coming. AI coaching, voice commands, smart drills, motion analysis, training reports, auto highlights, smart referee features, match-style practice, a machine that can feed, watch, and respond. That is a story people can imagine. Not just, I bought a ball machine, but I backed the future of training. And sports makes that promise even more emotional. Because this is not just a smarter speaker, not just a better charger, not just another app. This is a machine that says, I can help you become better at something physical, something skill-based, something personal. That makes the promise stronger. When people imagine using Aura, they are not only imagining the robot, they are imagining themselves improving. They imagine arriving at the court alone and still getting a serious session. They imagine speaking a command and watching the machine respond. They imagine repeating the exact shot they missed in a match. They imagine seeing their mistake on a report. They imagine fixing it. They imagine progress becoming predictable. That is the dream. A court where practice is always available. A coach that never cancels. A partner that never gets tired. A feedback system that never forgets. But the bigger the promise, the more important the reality becomes. And this is where we need to be honest. AI coaching sounds powerful, but human movement is complicated. Different players move differently. Different courts have different lighting. Different sports have different rhythms. A beginner does not need the same feedback as an advanced player. A tennis player does not move like a pickleball player. A Padel player deals with walls, corners, rebounds, lobs, and angles. So the challenge is not only launching balls, the challenge is understanding context. And context is hard. There is also the usual crowdfunding question. Will every promised feature feel polished when people receive it? Will the app be smooth? Will the AI feedback be useful? Will the camera tracking work reliably? Will voice commands feel natural on a noisy court? Will the machine be durable? Will updates keep improving it? Will the company support it long-term? These are fair questions, because crowdfunding often sells the future before the future is fully tested. That does not mean the product is not exciting. It means the excitement needs honesty. And honestly, PongBot Aura is exciting because it points to a real direction. Sports equipment is becoming intelligent. Training tools are becoming connected. Cameras are becoming coaches. Apps are becoming drill designers. AI is leaving the desk. It is entering the court, the gym, the studio, the car, the home, the body. And when AI enters those spaces, it does not just automate information, it starts shaping behavior. In Aura's case, the behavior is practice. The machine decides what ball comes next. The camera watches how you respond. The system tells you what went wrong. And over time, it may shape how you train. That is powerful, because the tools we use to improve often change what improvement means. If a machine gives perfect repetition, maybe we become more disciplined. If a camera gives instant feedback, maybe we become more aware. If a report shows progress, maybe we stay motivated longer. But if everything becomes optimized, maybe we also lose something. The messy rally, the playful mistake, the strange improvisation, the human coach saying something unexpected, the training partner who pushes you in a way a machine cannot. The future of training may not be robot or human. It may be robot plus human. A machine for repetition, a camera for measurement, AI for pattern detection, a human coach for judgment. A player for instinct, a sport for play. And that may be where products like PongBot Aura are really heading. The old version of solo practice was lonely. The new version is different. A machine feeds the ball, a camera tracks the body, an app builds the drill, AI gives the correction, a report remembers the session. That is a very different relationship with improvement. And maybe that is why this product feels both exciting and uncomfortable. It gives us something we want, while revealing something we may not want to admit. We do not just want technology to do things for us. We want technology to tell us how to become better. Better at work, better at sleep, better at fitness, better at creativity, better at sports, better at being ourselves. So when a robot appears on a court and says, in its own way, I can help you improve. It is not only a sports product, it is a mirror. A mirror showing where technology is going. From tools that obey us, to systems that observe us. From machines that repeat, to machines that correct. From equipment we use, to equipment that studies us back. And maybe one day, this will feel completely normal. Maybe every court will have an AI training system. Maybe every player will have automatic highlights, movement reports, and voice-guided drills. Maybe young athletes will grow up thinking it is normal for equipment to watch them practice. But right now, it still feels like a strange threshold. A small robot on the court, a camera watching the player, a voice giving feedback, a ball launching again, and again, and again, until the human gets better. So the real question is not whether PongBot Aura is just a better ball machine. The real question is, when our tools start watching how we improve, do they become our assistants, our coaches, or something closer to a mirror we cannot ignore?